You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday. It is 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Evan Narani. We want to start off with a check of the forecast on what's been a very nice start to the new year.
Right.
Things are looking good out there. So let's start off with what we see outside there. A mostly overcast start to the morning out along the water, but that fog has actually been pretty quick to clear up. We're looking at an hourly forecast that takes us from colder temperatures right now in the 30s and 40s to the 60s and 70s by the afternoon. There are even a couple eastern valleys that could hit 80s by the afternoon under sunny skies. Let's get to our headlines in the meantime.
Yeah, this morning 15 people are dead after a man rammed a truck through a crowd of people in New Orleans. 39 others are hurt, including a student from San Diego State University.
And this morning, investigators are looking into possible connections to a Tesla Cybertruck explosion that took place outside of the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. We're going to have more on the similarities of the attacks and what the family of that SDSU student is saying in just a few moments. But first, CBS News correspondent Nicole Valdez is in New Orleans with what we're learning this morning.
We have dozens of people that got hit by this car.
Frantic messages from first responders in New Orleans just moments after a man drove his truck through crowds celebrating the new year on the city's famed Bourbon Street.
Like you just heard this squeal and like the rev of an engine and then this huge loud impact and then the people screaming.
The FBI has identified the attacker as 42-year-old Army veteran Shamsuddin Jabbar, a U.S. citizen who lived in Texas. Agents say after he rammed the crowd, the suspect exited what appeared to be a rented Ford truck and fired at police. He was killed in the gunfight. 2 officers were wounded.
We are working with our partners to investigate this as an act of terrorism. We do not believe that Jabbar was solely responsible. We are aggressively running down every lead.
The FBI says they found an ISIS flag on the suspect's vehicle and possible improvised explosive devices there and throughout the French Quarter.
Mere hours before the attack, he posted videos on social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill.
These are just some of the victims who died in the attack, including 28-year-old former Princeton University football star Tiger Besh.
He was a stand-up guy that we really respected and honored.
Later today, the Sugar Bowl is set to kick off at the nearby Superdome after it was postponed due to yesterday's horrific attack. Nicole Valdez, CBS News, New Orleans.
And investigators are also looking into whether a deadly Cybertruck explosion in Las Vegas yesterday has anything to do with the New Orleans attack. So far, President Biden said that there are no known connections, but it is being investigated as potential act of terrorism. One person inside of the truck was killed. Another 7 people were hurt after the truck exploded outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. Investigators say the bed of the truck was packed with gas canisters and fireworks. The Cybertruck was rented in Colorado through Turo. That's the same app as the truck used in the New Orleans attack. Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who is working as a government efficiency advisor for President-elect Trump, posted on X, quote, "The evil knuckleheads picked the wrong vehicle for a terrorist attack. Cybertruck actually contained the explosion." And this morning, we are hearing from the family of a San Diego State student who was hurt in that New Orleans attack.
And we are also hearing from San Diego police about security here at home. CBS 8's Chris Groh live at STPD headquarters with that part of the story here. Chris?
And like so many other people in New Orleans that day, 19-year-old Steele Idelson was there celebrating the new year. She was there with a friend from high school, reuniting after both going to colleges on different sides of the country. Idelson here at San Diego State. They, of course, were injured. We know that they are being treated there in New Orleans, but what we are hearing is that she and her friend El Eisel are both in the hospital. They went to high school together in Southwest Florida. They are graduates of Canterbury High School there in Fort Myers area. SDSU confirming to us that Idelson attends school here, but could not offer more information about her status, citing student privacy concerns. Now, her friend goes to the University of Georgia, but both families combined a statement and released it through their high school. Want to show that to you right now. It reads in part, quote, that they are deeply grateful for the outpouring of thoughts, prayers, and offers of support for our daughters following the tragic attack in New Orleans. We are especially thankful for the exceptional care and compassion they are receiving at University Medical Center. We also extend our heartfelt gratitude to the first responders whose swift actions may have saved our daughters' lives. And as we turn back here home to the San Diego Police Department, they also released a statement about concerns that there may be something that happens here locally. They said that they are, quote, continuing to work collaboratively with our local, state, and federal partners to identify any threats to San Diego at this time. There are no known threats to our city. We stand ready to respond or assist in any way should information become available. Public safety is a shared responsibility that requires everyone's participation. We encourage you to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activities or information that you may have. Now, we also heard from the governor's office here in California that did put out a statement saying that they have investigated, they've looked at, and do not know of any threats here to any California events that may be happening or may have already happened, but something that they are going to remain vigilant about as well too. Of course, any information or any updates we have about Idelson's status, again, time there, treatment at the hospital, we'll be sure to update you as soon as we know. But for now, we're going to send things back to you, Eric and Evan.
All right, Chris, thank you for the latest there. Also this morning, the sheriff's office is investigating a crash that killed 2 pedestrians in Lemon Grove. Around 11 yesterday morning, investigators say 2 cars crashed, and the impact of that crash sent one of the cars into the path of 2 people who were crossing the street. It happened at Buena Vista Avenue and Broadway. Authorities say the victims were a 19-year-old female and 20-year-old male. We met people who say that they were members of their church.
People, respectful kids, you know, and they have dreams. They want to be a good citizen.
Both drivers were sent to the hospital. The cause of that crash is still under investigation. The sheriff's office says one or both of those drivers could have been speeding.
After months of failed negotiations, a contract agreement between Scripps Health and Anthem Blue Cross is expiring this morning. The move impacts thousands of patients whose Anthem Blue Cross coverage at Scripps is now considered out of network. That means those patients will be forced to pay higher rates or find a new health care provider. Certain emergency care is excluded. This morning, CAL FIRE is working a 25-acre brush fire near Otay Mountain in the South Bay. It started just before 6:30 p.m. yesterday. No structures are threatened. The forward rate of spread has been stopped, and the fire is now 5% contained. 24 personnel are dispatched to this fire. No word yet on how it started. We certainly could use some rain in our forecast here. It's been a while since we've had any sort of storm here, Evan, and you see maybe something next week, potentially?
Middle of next week seems to be our next best opportunity for us to get any of that precipitation on the ground. In the meantime, between now and the middle of next week, remember we're right now in about the middle of a week. We're at Thursday. We're going to be seeing our next opportunity for rain come about next Wednesday. So we still have almost a full week of dry skies, and that comes on the heels of very dry conditions for October, November, and December. That brings our full deficit to several inches of rain below where we'd like to be. Looking at your current conditions out along the coastline, fog is the biggest issue to contend with. We've got about 6 miles of visibility in Carlsbad and downtown San Diego. This fog is actually clearing out a lot faster than expected, so that means that within the next hour or so, we should be moving toward a fair amount of sunshine. Taking our temperatures to the low 70s at the coast, low 80s inland, plenty of that sunshine lasting across the county for the day. Remember, we're still looking at that late 4 o'clock hour for sunset, but between about 6:50 or so and that time frame, that 4:50 time frame, we should see a whole lot of sunshine. Out the door, it is quite chilly in Ramona and Poway. Grab that jacket, 32 degrees. Escondido cold as well at 40, 45 for Encinitas, and 44 for downtown San Diego. When we look at our rain chances, they are low between now and the beginning of next week, even middle of next week time frame, but we're going to watch for that Wednesday, Thursday time frame for the possibility of our next chance for some very light wet weather in the forecast. In the meantime, 5-day forecast shows that clouds are going to reconvene tomorrow. Temperatures will slide by a pretty decent margin from today to tomorrow, and then again from Friday into Saturday, and then balancing out toward about average. That's low 70s across our inland valleys, but along the coastline, that'll translate to plenty of 60s as we go into the beginning of next week. Let's take a look at traffic, talk about your roads right now. So far, drive time's looking good outside. Slowing down just a bit on the Coronado Bridge from downtown to Coronado, you're down to 41 miles per hour. It'll take you 3 minutes to get across. Let's take a look at your border wait times right now, where it is a long wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry, about 150 minutes in total, 2.5 hours there. Otay Mesa Port of Entry, you should be able to get across much quicker, only taking you about an hour in total. Eric?